Hello, welcome. Marlene here. I made this video especially for you. You know who you are. You've watched 100 videos. You keep telling yourself, I'm going to do it, but end up finding excuses why not to. Well, this is the Christmas you're going to make cookies. I've got 3 super cute classics. Today we're making Santa, Rudolph, and a snowman, and you can do it. Now on to the step-by-step tutorial. I've got my guidelines on, and now I'm just coming in and adding kind of like a pinkish color to the face area. Puffing that up. Now I'm going to heal it. Just going to fidget with the icing until it smooths over. Picking up the cookie and shaking it is helpful for that as well. I'm going to pop in my eyes, so one right here. He's slightly turned to one side, so the eyes are not like dead center. They're a little bit to the side. And there we go. You see the icing's nice and smoothed over. I'm just adding some lines to, I'll see if it'll do anything. I want to add like a pleat where the pom-pom goes over. So I'm just doing these, this kind of V there. I've got white icing and I'm just doing the beard area now. Connecting to the face, which has had time to crust over. And I'm just quickly outlining and flooding this whole area. I'm going well outside of my guideline to hide it. And that's it. We're going to heal this over. And then a little shake. I'm now flooding the hat. I can come in here and just fill in these little triangles. And it's going to create my pleats here. So don't spill over the line. Try to stay within it. Like that. And then connect to the perimeter. There. So your icing can't be too runny or it'll spill right over that line that's meant to create the pleat. But you see, you get like a dimple to create those pleats. I'm finalizing the hat now. I'm working, starting here, working towards the pom-pom. And all I'm doing is I'm filling this gap with a circular motion and white icing. Just round and round. Just like so, and then the pom-pom. I'm just sprinkling all this here in the wet icing. I'm not coating it, I'm just sprinkling a little bit of it, like that. And then in the wet icing, I'm adding a little gingerbread man just for a little bit of cuteness right there. We're going to finish off with the mustache, and he's done. Finalizing Santa. Got a star tip, and I'm looking at the eyes here, and I'm starting the mustache right under one of the eyes. That one is smaller since his head is turned that way, and then this side will be bigger. You see, like that. And then in that wet icing, I'm popping in a jelly bean, and there he is. Starting off with the hat, I've got some gray icing. No need to take it all the way to black. Just more susceptible to bleeding, and gray gets the point across just the same. And I'm just quickly drawing out the top of the hat there. I'm not sweating the details too much. This is for a bake sale. I'm not gonna waste too much time on my bargain basement cookies. I'm just going to outline and flood the whole rest of the cookie in white here. And in the wet icing, a jelly bean. And with a wet needle on a little bit of icing on the end, I can position my sprinkles for the eyes. Just adding a little trim on the hat here, just a back and forth line across. And then I'm picking up a little sprinkle and adding that. The little sprinkles jazz up the cookie. Just going to do it again for you. Just a back and forth motion. I'm going to give him some eyebrows. I find his face is lacking a bit of expression. And I'm just doing a white line on either side, like that. And now I'm just doing a little mound of icing right here. And I'm securing my snowflake, and then I'm just, this is proving to be the most labor-intensive part of all my cookies, this goofy snowflake. So maybe you want to make up a stencil. If you're working on bake sale stuff, you really don't want to be spending that much time. I've only got 12. I'm repeating that to myself. But nobody gets the work involved, and so I hate pouring myself into a cookie and then seeing a 50-cent price tag on it. Okay, and now I'm just popping on a little sprinkle in the middle. This helps just flatten that mound of icing. Since the lines cross there so many times, it creates a mound. And now I'm just adding some arms that are holding that snowflake. These lines really don't have to be perfect since it's supposed to be twigs. And there he is holding his snowflake, clutching it tightly. I'm adding the horns first since that has sanding sugar, and so then I don't have to worry about it getting on the rest of my cookie. I'm just adding a chubby line, which I'm going to be coating in the sanding sugar. So I'm just following or filling my guidelines. This is super forgiving sanding sugar. If your lines aren't perfect, sanding sugar will camouflage it very well. And this gives the look of those kind of fuzzy antlers. I'm using jelly beans for the noses. They're just the perfect size, and I think that it just makes the face. So I've got some black ones and some red ones to create a variety of deer. And you can decide if you want to make them all Rudolph. The black jelly bean is that kind of nasty taste. If you like black jelly beans, I apologize. I'm not a fan. But they are very pretty. And I've got my guidelines so I can just kind of blindly fill in the top of his head. I have to say my icing is on the stiff side, but I didn't feel like putting it back in the bowl to add a little bit more liquid and loosening it up. I don't recommend, if you're a beginner, to try to finagle this type of icing into smoothing out for you. Just get it a little bit runnier. Once you have played with royal icing for a bit, you know how it reacts. And it'll be more forgiving when you've got if your consistency is not exactly right. But if you're a beginner, don't attempt. You'll just get frustrated. There, and now I can come in and connect here to the darker brown. And the bottom of the face here, or the head. You see, this icing is much like it's the right consistency. You see how it's healing easily? The other one was a little bit more finicky. And now I'm going to drop in a red jelly bean. These are Jelly Bellies, and so they do have writing printed on them. So try to get that writing underneath so that it's, you know, not on and visible on the cookie. And there's Rudolph. Everybody has their kind of ideas about cookies. I'm not a super perfectionist. I don't worry too much about things like this and this. It's food, and I'm not a robot. So I'm perfectly okay with these types of things, but it's up to you how much you want to fiddle with the cookie. You'll get to this point, your cookie's all cute, and then you'll ruin the eyes. So the great thing about having your own stencil cutter, which I love, is I can make stencils for these little tricky areas. Here, since I had my jelly bean on, I cut out the kind of nose area so that my stencil would rest right. And now I can just come in and quickly stencil on the eyes. You see, and it lays flat. I almost forgot his ears. So I've got a leaf tip. I'm tucking the beginning right there and pulling. Tucking it right at the antler and pulling. And you can see there it creates cute ears. You want them to rest against the cookie. If they're sticking up, they'll snap when you package the cookies. Royal icing is not strong. There it is. And here are the completed cookies. And as you saw, it's really not that complicated. It's just breaking down the steps. There aren't that many colors. And if you look in the description box, I've got the tutorial how to make the cookies and the icing. And if they're ugly, you can eat the evidence. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'll see you next time.